welcome. Today we're going to be discussing proposals in Houzz Pro. I'm Abby. I'm on the product marketing team here at Houzz, and my colleague here, Shoshana, is also on the product marketing team here at Houzz. And we get the honor of communicating with pros like yourselves, learning from you guys about what features work for your individual businesses, what doesn't work, what things you want to see improved. And then we get to work really closely with our engineers and product teams to kind of make those enhancements. So when you see new features come about in Houzz Pro, we help facilitate that. So really great to have you guys here today. We're going to cover a couple of things today. We're going to go through how to get started with proposals, how to send those proposals for approval, our QuickBooks integration, as well as invoicing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A and we'll get back to them as quickly as possible. We'll stop at the end of each section as well to answer some of those questions live. So if you have any of them and we haven't gotten to them yet, we will certainly get to them when we break the section for sure. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you guys how to get started with proposals. Just one moment. Okie dokie. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay, Shoshana?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Now let me get myself on the right screen. Just one second. Okay. There we go. Nope, wrong one. Sorry about that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now you can see me moving around, right?
Yes, definitely. We're seeing you, and just everything is recorded for you and your teams.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for laying that out. Okay, guys, so to get started on creating a proposal, you can do that from the lead phase if you want. Over here in leads, like if you have a new lead and you want to create a proposal for that, you can do that. But for purposes of today, we're going to do it from a project. So to access a project, you go over to the left-hand side. You want to choose an existing project or create a new one. And once you create it, you'll be brought to this project overview dashboard page. That's going to give you access to all of the different features inside Houzz Pro. So to create a proposal, you'll want to click the Proposals tab on the left-hand side, and then it's going to bring up any past proposals, or if you don't have anything there, you'll be able to create a new one. So in the top right-hand corner, you see the button for New Proposal. You just want to click that, and then it'll show you your options. You can do them from scratch, from a template, upload. Those are the different options that you can do. But for right now, we're going to start from scratch. So we're going to click from scratch, and you'll be able to add as many proposals as you want in the future too. So if you have multiple proposals, they'll all appear in that list as well. Now you'll see that the proposal is going to be auto-filled with some information about your company. So if you've added your logo, that will appear here, your business information. If you've added client details, like the billing address and that sort of thing, that will automatically be added here as well as the name of the proposal, which is editable if you'd like to change that. And same for the proposal number. If you have a specific numbering mechanism that you want to use, you can do that as well, as setting the due date, the date that you want it sent, as well as changing the actual status of the estimate as well. Now let's dive into how to add items to your proposal. So there's a number of ways that you can add items from your proposal. You can do them from creating items from scratch in line right here. You can click from library and add them manually here from adding a product, or you can use our Houzz Pro Clipper. So if you don't have the Clipper tool installed, it's absolutely a great tool for the proposal process, for the selections process, all of those different things when you're needing to source actual product. So I'll show you a little bit about how that works. So I have this chair pulled up on Amber Interiors website. Super cute, love it. I'd love to have that one. But anyways, if you have the Houzz Pro Clipper installed, it's automatically going to be up here in your right-hand toolbar for you. You'll see the little Houzz icon. And once you're logged in, it's super easy for you to pull this product information into Houzz Pro. So first thing is the product images. If you click Clip Product Images, it's going to automatically identify the images that are found on that page, and you can choose which ones that you want to associate with that product. So like for this one, there's lots of fabric swatches available. So you could choose the specific fabric swatch that you want to use. Like I love that boucle, let's do that. And then it's also going to give you the actual image for the chair as well. So if you want to do like 2 images to really show your client what you're looking for, you can do that as well. So let's do those 2 and then just hit clip. It's going to pull that information in, and that's automatically going to be available for you in House Pro now. To pull the title, you can highlight over it. There's a number of different ways you can do it. You can highlight over it. You can use this finger pointing icon to actually just click the finger and click the price and then assign it to what it needs to be. You can add the description, product category, like let's name this chair. That's going to be our product category for this one. We're going to create that. The vendor, this is going to be Amber Interiors. I don't have that one yet, so I'm going to add a new one. Amber Interiors, save that guy. And then you can choose the project. So I've already got this project of Graham Residence created. So I want to go ahead and save it to that specific project. Once you're done, you're just going to hit Save to House Pro. And now that chair is going to be available for you to use on your proposal, on your selection boards, anything like that. So now back to the actual proposal. Let's add that item into our proposal. So if you remember the name of it, you can certainly type it in and it will search it for you. Or you can use this From Library button over on the right-hand side, and it should pull in your products for you. So you can see right here, that Stanley armchair that I pulled in is ready for me. And if I just click this plus button, it's going to automatically insert that into the proposal. So you can see here, it's got both of my images there. You can edit those if you'd like. You can add more images if you decide that you want to change things up. And then all of the details that you entered in on that clipper will show up here as well. Really great. Any questions about the clipper, Shosh?
We're not. No, I wonder if the crowd here is already familiar maybe with the clipper tool. So, feel free also to let us know through the questions, through the chat. That was great, Abby. I love how you did. It's just easy to use. It's going to be easy for you and for your team.
Totally.
We're getting a question about is cost MSRP. Do you want to answer that? It depends, right?
Yeah. It just depends on how you want to structure it. So it's entirely up to you. The cost can be the MSRP. It could be the cost that you're paying, and then you can add markup on top of that in the proposal. So it depends on how you want to structure it, really. There's actually a sorry, let's see. We have one other question too, Letitia. Do you open the proposal first and then pull up the clipper? Does the order matter? No, the order does not matter. You can clip products before you've even created the proposal. As long as the project has been created, you'll be able to add it to that project and be able to use it in that project in the future and other projects in the future as well.
Yes, and we're having also questions about pulling the items of the room board or the selections board. Definitely. You'll be able to just create, we call them selection boards. You're going to be able to create selection boards in House Pro and then convert them into proposals.
Absolutely.
So let me share my screen and show you a little bit more. Right there, the different tools. We're going to go in detail. Yes. Can you see this?
Yep, you are good.
Okay, great. So we want to go more into details and show you a little bit more all the advanced features on proposals. So Abby was just mentioning how everything is pre-populated. You see, Jonathan is my client on this project, so it's going to be showing right there. I have a date. I can add a due date. Let's say I'm going to put it here. Actually, if you're working something on the date, that's a trick for you is that you can change. So usually the date is going to be automatically set, the day you create that proposal or that invoice. But it's a good trick to know that you can go here and you can change the date created if necessary. This is especially helpful when you're syncing documents to QuickBooks, and let's say you're working on the first draft, and then, months later, you're really working more and you want to update that date. So here, as you can see, I decided to go with the view by category. So this is a structure I'm giving to my proposal, and this is a proposal with all my lighting fixtures. So I have a nice title that I can update. The description, I have a few images. You're gonna be able also to change the cover image, right? You can decide after you've clipped that this image is better to be set as cover image, so that's possible. And then you're going to be able also to customize the columns the way you want them to be. So there's different ways to do this. First, you can just drag and drop, right, the different columns. You can edit anything here, so that's everything is editable. The software is really flexible. Everything is made so that it works for you and your business and your needs. So everything, if there are columns that you like using, so you can just set them up, use that little button to add a column, or just press customize and say, okay, I want to show the item description, the images, I want auto numbering, and these are all the columns I want to show, right? I want to show the units. I want to show the color, the dimensions. Everything that you decide here is going to be saved automatically for you, so that next time you create a proposal, it will look the way you want it to be. What's great also is that this is your format for your proposals, and I'm sure you have different columns that you need for purchase orders. So you can also customize the columns and the layout for your purchase orders as well, and will save your preferences. Now, I want to set a markup, so I can just set it up here. I can use the fixed amount or the percentage. What I really like doing, I really like using the set default value. So that's another tip. So let's say I want to put 30%. Yeah, save. One sec. Reset default value. Let's do it again. Set default value, 30%, save, and then everything is automatically updated. If, let's say, I want one item to specifically be, I want 45%, for example, I can do that, and I can do that on one item, and the other items will still have the default value. I can add a unit type. I can, by default, I can add a room, set a room. By default, let's say if you've clipped that item and you've specified the room, then again, all the information that you put in the clipper is going to carry over for you. And same for taxable. Let's say I want to set the default value and say item and shipping are taxable. Right there, I'm going to be able to just do that right from the top. So that's something usually also you always want when it has to do with taxes. You want to be able to check and with your bookkeeper or the accounting firm you're working with. Okay. Another cool thing is that you can undo if, for example, you've added something and you want to just quickly undo it. You have the ability to do that. What I really like is that you can add items like we just showed you, right? From the project item library, you can just pull them up. You can also just type here any item that you want to add. And you'll be able, you can use the manual, right? You're going to be able to just edit all that information. You're going to be able also to search. And you can also just simply, once you've added an item, you can just drag and drop and change, manually reorder them. Really flexible again, the way you want. Another trick, something I really like using, is the right click menu. So you click right on an item and you're going to have the different options, like you can add items above or below, move to the top or the bottom of the list. You're going to be able to just create a new category right from there. You can also create new categories from your library right there when you click on company. And of course, we'll talk about that later, but you can also create invoices and purchase order right from there. Everything that you do is automatically saved for you. So you see right here, we have the auto saved. So it's very handy this way, just making sure that whenever you're working, you don't even need to think about it. It's being saved for you. Okay, so now we talked about the items. I want to show you here. I can add a discount. You can say, discount, whatever the way I want to, whatever I want to name that. I'm going to be able to add taxes. Everything is going to be calculated for me and then tracked. When you're turning that into an invoice, it's going to be tracked into your reports, your financial reports. I'm going to be able to just add multiple payments. So let's say I want to schedule 2 payments. I'm going to be able to just set up the way I want. I can rename it. I can change the terms, add a due date. I can change and put that upon completion, for example. And what's really great is that I'm going to be able to just save this payment schedule as default for next time. What we really recommend, what's really easy, your clients are going to love it, is to schedule, to set up online payments. So when you set up online payments, your client can just pay via credit card or bank transfer. They can, whenever they receive the proposal, they can just pay with their mobile device on the spot right there on the go, and you'll get notified, of course. You can also, you have lots of capabilities there. You're going to be able also to pass the transaction fees onto your clients, or you can decide to absorb the transaction fee. Most designers usually pass the transaction fees to their clients, and when it's set up, it's really easy. And another thing also is that if needed, you can get paid within 30 minutes. So you can get the funds instantly within 30 minutes instead of the usual 2-3 days. So you'll be able to just save as default. So next time you open a proposal, next time your junior designer is working on a proposal, everybody's just working the same way with your preferences saved. I'm going to be able to attach files. And what's great is that I can attach files from my files and photos, but I can also upload from Google Drive right there. I can add my terms and conditions. And what's great, again, is that we have templates everywhere. So you just set it up. You can set the company defaults. And then you can just pull the right template for that proposal. Same for memos. And you're going to be able also, when you create a template, what's really cool, let me show you, is that you can insert tokens. So what does it mean? It means that you can say, you can add the client name right there. Let me do it right there, for example, and then you see it's going to be automatically updated with the name of the client for this project. I'm going to be able also to collect signatures, so e-signatures. So you just toggle that on or off, and this way you can collect the signature on the proposal, on the invoice, etc. So what are the other things I wanted to show you? I think I wanted to show you the automations feature. Here, you're going to be able also to just set up automations, so that to make sure that, let's say your clients, you're going to send a thank you message once the proposal is approved automatically. You can edit those and just edit the thank you messages, the client reminders, everything. You can just decide what works for you and your business. And then it's going to be just set up for you every single time. You can, okay. So what else do I want to show? Maybe, are we getting any questions, Abby? Maybe I can answer questions before.
Yeah, definitely. Can you show how to group items on a proposal?
Yes. So I can do that now. I was thinking of doing it maybe later, but let me do this now. So let me just pull it up right here. Okay, so there are different ways you can group items. I will actually just ungroup them first, so that
You'll have to switch screens too.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
here we go. Can you see it? So here, I want to be able to group items. So the easy way to do it is to just list all the items that are needed, right? And their cost. So I have the share frame, 6 share frames. For this cost, the fabric, I need 4 yards of fabric. I need to take into account labor here. And then I'm just selecting the items and I'm going to create a group. By default, the group is going to pull up like the pictures right there. And of course, I can edit the images as needed, can remove some or not. And by default, it sets a quantity of 1, but really I know that I have 6 chairs. So right there, the rate is going to be automatically updated. And I can add and say dining room chairs. So it's that easy. As you can see, by default, you see this little eye icon is telling you that the components of the group are only visible to you and are hidden from the client view by default. So what does it mean is that when we go to preview, your client is only going to see the main item. They're not going to be able to see all the details. That's going to be saved for you in the edit mode. And of course, then when you click right, you're going to be able also to create purchase orders and for each item. So let me just do this just to show you the flow. I'm going to be able to just create a purchase order and decide, assign the different vendors right there. And it's going to create all the purchase order and the right information is going to carry over for me. So it's
awesome.
really, really easy. Any
That's
questions?
great. We had another question about purchase orders, so I'm glad that you just showed that. I told them that if you just use the actions menu at the top, you can create your purchase orders from there. So if anybody else had that question as well. Let me see. We do have some other questions. Let me get back to them.
I love the right-click menu. When you start using it, it really becomes very handy, and it's really a great way to get to your to the quick actions very quickly.
Somebody asked, how do we set up an ACH payment?
So you go right there. We have great also how-tos. But when you go to online payments, I'm going to just open in a new tab. It's going to tell you very easily how to get started and how to set up everything. So you just go there, you get started, and it's just very easy. You just need to fill out some information, and then it's like you can do it in really a few minutes. And if you need help, please share. You can always send us a message through this little chat support here. And we're going to be able to just, you send us a message right here and we can answer. So we have real humans who answer. Don't worry. And they can help you get set up if needed. But usually that's something that also you can do by yourself. And you'll be able to just say, hey, I want to receive ACH transfers, or I want credit card payments until a certain amount. I want to pass the transaction fee to the client. I want to get the money in 30 minutes. All of this, you're going to be able to just decide and set up.
Awesome. We had another question about collecting payment for like more generic items. I'm happy to go ahead and show that now. Do you mind if I do that, Shosh?
Yeah, please do, and then I'll keep going on the other
Perfect.
tricks.
Yes, she was asking specifically about like a shopping list. So if you want to be a little bit more general about your proposals, you can totally do that as well. Let me get back to the right one. Let's see. Let me get back into this proposal. Okay, so this proposal that I've created in here, I did in more of like a broad strokes approach. So like I estimated for the concept development phase, I'm anticipating we're gonna spend 15 hours, site visits, 10 hours, that sort of thing. And then under my furniture section, this is kind of what I did of more like a shopping list. Like I'm looking for a sofa that is gonna be around $4,000. I'm looking for an 8x10 rug that I'm planning to spend around 2,500. So you can do that as well as getting very specific and using the actual items. You can do either approach. It really just depends on your business. To do that though, I would just click create item and you just type in what you need. Like if you need a nightstand, you can just type that in and then it's going to create that item for you. You can assign it to a category, like just furniture, or you can get really granular on your categories. It's completely up to you. Let's say that I'm planning to spend 1,500 on each nightstand. You can do that and then just hit create. It's going to automatically go ahead and add that onto your proposal, and it's going to nest it under furniture since that's the category that we used. So that's the way that you would kind of create that shopping list and be able to send that version of your proposal to your customer.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Abby. I'm going to share again my screen because I want to show you more. Okay. Share. Are you seeing this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I wanted to share with you. So first, just to finish with the screen, there were questions about setting up a thank you message. So right here, you can click on edit and go and set up a template for your thank you messages right here. So feel free to do that. And then when you save it, you click save. And then, everything's set up for you. Something else I wanted to show you, when we go to the action menu, I'm going to be able to just archive the proposal. I can do it also from the all proposals view. I can duplicate and edit a proposal. I can save it as a template. And then when I create a new proposal, I can do it from a template. I can, once I shared it, I'm going to be able also to hide it from the dashboard, from the client dashboard if needed, can download it as a PDF, print it directly. What's really cool also is that you have the ability to merge proposals when they're on draft mode. You can do that with invoices as well, and you can do that with purchase orders. But now the next thing I wanted also to talk to you about is, how do I go ahead and share that proposal? How can I make sure that only the information I want to share is going to be shared with the client? How can I control everything? Just make sure, double check that. So we have different ways. So the first way is when you're on the edit mode. Right now I'm on the edit mode. I'm able to just, press that icon right here, and I can see it's only visible to me, right? I can show to the client, but I like keeping my markup hidden from the client, so it's only visible to me right here. Same for taxable. This is something I need to have on the edit mode, but this is not a detail I want to share with my client. I'm going to go ahead and click on preview. So when I click on preview, I can see and I can see the preview. So what will my client see? What information is going to be displayed for them? And I can customize what they can see. So I'm going to be able to just customize really and say, I don't want to show the detailed breakdown, for example. I just want really just the category pricing. Or I want to show the detailed breakdown, but I don't want to show the detailed pricing. I just want a total right there. I can just double check also that the columns are just the ones that I want to show. I like showing the images. It makes my proposal look very visual for my clients. So I'm going to keep that on. The description also is great. I can show a QR code on my PDF if needed. I want the electronic signature on. I want to give the option to my client to approve per line item. Sometimes you want to do that. Sometimes it's relevant. Sometimes it's less relevant. So that's for you to choose. You'll notice also that I add columns for the rooms where each item is going to be located. So what's really cool is that both for your PDF also and for your view, this digital version of your proposal, we're going to make sure that everything is really clean for your client to view, and any additional information of the columns are going to be right here. They're going to be parked right here in the description. Again, when I go back to edit, I can change the way I want my columns, to show everything. Everything again can be updated right here, and I can update whatever title I want to update. So I want to show you also the payments, the terms and conditions, and the signature. And then when I press send, I'm going to be able to, by default, it's going to attach the PDF to the email. I can, again, pull a template. I can, that email, that message that I send out, attached to the proposal or the invoice. I can just save it as a template for next time to make sure that everybody in the team there's consistency and everybody sends the same way. So here I can edit the subject, the body of the message. I can send the link, or I can just go ahead and press send. And I want to show you how it looks like. So here, this is how it's going to look like. So really, with here I send it to my house email, but really what your client is going to receive is your logo front and center. They're going to be able to just press on view proposal. They're going to get kind of a preview of what that proposal looks like. They're going to be able to just view the proposal. The proposal is going to be attached by default to that email in PDF, and it's going to be all your information. I just want to point that out because usually we hear sometimes designers are worried. Feel free to test that and send yourself a proposal over email if needed, if you're not sure how it looks like, to make sure also that to just be comforted that your business is our priority and your business is going to be front and center in that email. So then when we go back, I just wanted to go here. Did we get any questions about sending for approvals and customizing the settings?
Yeah, we have some questions about just the cost and does the cost include the markup? How does this show to the client? What they're trying to understand, is the markup shown? Is the markup hidden? How do we operate that whole scenario?
Okay, sounds good. So when you go here, you can see what's showing. I'm going to put detail pricing so it's easier. What's showing really is your the markup and the cost. It's not really the cost, it's the price. So I know that's why it's confusing.
Yeah, this is always a hard topic.
But as you can see, my total is 4,353, right? That's my cost plus my markup. And for that total, or it's 185.64, sorry. That's again my cost plus my markup. And when I go to preview, that's what's showing. I'm not sharing my markup. There's no way for the client to see and to make that calculation. And I think the confusion may be coming from this. So maybe we'll just put that right there. And this way you can just, that's what you can show to your clients, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you have trade pricing and you, like I showed earlier, clipped an item from your clipper, save your trade price as the cost, and then in the markup column, add your percentage of your markup. And then when the client sees it, they'll see costs as well, but it'll be the total cost at the end of the day.
Right. And I want to show you something. So we talked about the right-click menu, but something also very handy is the item overview. And there you really have all the details. You also have the financial details. So really total markup, everything that you need. You're going to be able also to, you'll see the tracking. So throughout the platform, whenever you're looking at an item, we have from the tracker, from your selection tracker, from the boards, from the purchase order, you'll always be able to just open that item overview and see all the updated information as the project moves along. So let me see. Awesome. Are we getting more questions? I showed you merge. Maybe we should talk a little bit about how everything syncs to QuickBooks and invoicing, unless we have more questions.
I think we're good to go. No, I think we're good to go into QuickBooks.
Okay, great. So I sent that invoice. Sorry, I sent that proposal. I got paid. So whenever you have, whenever you use our payments, Allspro Online Payments, everything is logged automatically for you. So you don't need to think about that. Whenever you receive the payment, it's going to be logged automatically. Here, I'm going to just log this manually. You see,
which is also the spot. If you got paid by check, you could log it right there as well.
Right. It's going to tell me it's better if you set up payments. And then you see how everything is automatically. Let's do check right here. Okay. So I got paid on the proposal. I'm going to go ahead and just create an invoice. There are different ways I can create an invoice. I can do it just by pressing this main button. Or I can go ahead and just invoice a specific item. Okay. So just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to mirror the proposal with the invoice. You can see also that, by the way, the status is updated here. And everything is also updated in the activity stream. Something else I forgot to mention is that whenever you're sharing that SMS with your client, that proposal with your client, or invoice, you're going to be notified over email when it's sent, when it's opened, when it's approved, when it's paid. So everything is going to be automatically, we're going to automatically notify you. And you can always go here and make sure that the right document owner is referenced here to make sure the right person is receiving the notifications for those. So now I got paid. I'm going to go ahead and create an invoice. It's going to tell me that there's a linked document, right? This proposal that was invoice that I had earlier. So the invoice is going to mirror everything. I got everything paid on the proposal right there. I'm going to send that invoice. I can also just copy the link and it will mark it as send, but let's just send it. Right here, and it's going to tell me everything is paid. It's going to show also on the activity stream. Did I send it? Okay. And then I want to go ahead, right. So whenever an invoice is shared and you use the QuickBooks integration, everything is going to sync automatically for you. We're going to make sure that we're working for you and that you don't need to think about how do I manage two systems. It's very easy to set up your QuickBooks integration. It's a good time to also point out that whenever you decide to set it up, we have our integration experts who are here for you to help you get set up and do everything right. And we provide full support for like 30 days, where we're really here for you and making sure that the mapping is done correctly. We're working with accountants in the design industry. So, I'm sure you've heard we do regular webinars with our accounting firms to just provide you with like the best practices in the industry. But just make sure to set up your QuickBooks Houseport integration. It's going to make your bookkeeper happy, and it's going to save you so much headache. So then once I did that, and basically once I get paid on the proposal, that's also best practice. You want to make sure you get paid before you create a purchase order, right? So once you get paid on the invoice or on the proposal, then you're going to be able to just create the purchase order. So I'm going to go ahead and do it very easily with the right click menu, which is my favorite way of doing it. And I'm going to select a vendor, and I'm going to create a purchase order right there. And here, everything carries over. So all the information that I had saved also in my Clipper is going to carry over. It's going to come to the proposal, to the invoice. Everything is going to be carried over to the purchase order. And what's really great, you can notice that the column there are different, because the information I need to put and share on my purchase order is different than the one I need to share with the client. So everything is very smart. This is what I set up for my favorite preferred layout for my purchase order. And it's going to save it for next time, every time I create a purchase order. So I'm going to be able to everything is pre-populated. If you already have an address, it will be there. I can change who it's going to, the shipping, it can be to a specific, it can go to the vendor project address, to a receiver. I'm going to be able to just edit that. Everything is very flexible. And everything, all the features that I was sharing with you before, it's working here. So you can customize all the columns here. When I clip that item, it was a demo, so I didn't add the SKU, but if you clip that item and you put that SKU number, it's going to be showing right there. Everything is going to be there for you. And then you're going to be able also to preview it. And again, decide everything, what needs to show, what needs to be shared with the vendor. Another thing that's really cool is that whenever you update that status, everything in our system is going to sync over. So meaning, let's say it's marked as bill, let's say it's order or backed order, it's going to be reflected in your tracker. So we have other webinars where we go and we dive into the tracker functionalities. But it just keep in mind that it's working for you. The system is here to work for you. So whenever you're updating that tracking status, it's also going to be updated and reflected in your tracker as well. And that's really very handy.
Awesome. I have a couple of questions if you have a second.
Yes.
Is it possible to indicate different payment amounts for each line item? For instance, 50% deposit on labor items, but 100% deposit on fabric or a piece of furniture?
So let me think.
That would go hand in hand with progressive invoicing, right?
Right. So you could just invoice a certain amount, right? But you could always also add notes. But whenever you have a payment and you log that payment, let me try to say, if I want to, it's still gonna tell you that it was like generally partially paid. You're still gonna have like that status at the top, and that information of partially paid or paid is not necessarily going to show at the item level. So let's say I create an invoice right here for this. I'm going to go back to that proposal. And you see it's going to say partially invoiced, and it's going to give me the invoice right there. And I think the best way to see, you're going to be able to just toggle on the docs column. Sorry, I want to save that. I want to toggle on the docs column. I'm going to press save. This is something I'm not sharing with my client for sure, but you see here, it's going to tell me that I have an invoice that's associated with the item. It's in draft mode. Once the invoice is paid, it will say invoice paid for this. I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. I have lots of questions to go through. What is the difference between getting paid in 30 minutes rather than it just going to their bank?
Oh, you have the option to just set up online payments. When you do that, I think you get your payments in 2-3 days, right, Abby? So the difference here is that you say, okay, I want that money within 30 minutes. After the client paid you, right? Usually we see that clients pay much faster on Housepro because it's just so easy and so convenient for them. So they press that pay now button, they pay you. Once they pay you, you get paid, you receive a notification, and you need that until it hits your bank account. It's going to take 2-3 days, but you could say, hey, I got paid and now I want that money within 30 minutes. And so that's where the difference lies. Yes.
Awesome. Is there a way to send a proposal for approval only? So basically not allowing them to send payment on it. Can you turn that off?
Yes, definitely. So if I just turn that off, I'm here, I'm going to just delete the payment. And then when you just send it, then there is no payments listed. You're just sending it for approval. And what they receive, if I take that link and I put it right here, what they receive is just the option to approve, I mean, here they can't sign because I already signed it. I mean, it's like, I can show you with another example, but basically they'll be able to approve and decline all if I have approval per line item, but they'll just click that button, won't be grayed out because it will be a new one, and they'll just be able to submit and sign.
Yeah. Okay. When you accept payment on a proposal, does it automatically become an invoice?
When you accept payment on a proposal, you can set up an automation right here to say, hey, okay, I'm here on the invoice. So let me show you from the proposal back to edit, automations, edit. No, I'm still on the invoice. Sorry about that. Let me go into, no, I'm on the proposal. I think you should be able to create an automation that says, when you see, create an invoice when the proposal is approved, right? And then you can keep the invoices as draft or share them with the clients.
Awesome. Perfect. And then someone asked, should you create a PO for each individual item or not, and not for the whole proposal, right?
So it really depends. You can do both, but what I showed you, I mean, you can also just create a PO, just you go ahead and you create a purchase order, and it's going to list all the items on the proposal, and you're going to have usually different vendors for all the different items, and you'll be able to do that. If you have one vendor, so it's going to, be assigned to the same vendor. So that's all.
Okay. And then let's see. When a client makes a payment, do the transaction fees show, or can that be hidden in the total cost? They get a lot of pushback about the transaction fees, so they just want to be clear.
Very good question. So there's different ways. You're going to have the option to pass on the transaction fee to the client, and then it's going to be listed there. Or something we're introducing very soon is the ability to just absorb, embed the transaction fee in your markup. So what that means, it's coming very soon, is that you'll be able to just send that invoice for payment. They're not going to see any transaction fee listed. It's all going to be hidden in basically your cost of doing business, and you're not going to be paying for it either. It's going to be all embedded in your markup. I hope that was clear, and it's coming very soon.
There's another good question. What's the difference in proposing items on a proposal versus proposing them in selections?
Very good point. So we usually, and Abby, feel free to also chime in. What we recommend, what most designers do, is that they're going to start, if I go back to my project here, they're going to start with the selection boards, and they're going to list all those items and send that selection board for approval to their client. And that's where the client can just approve per line item. And then what they do is that they turn those items into a proposal. The proposal is more of a summary of the approved items, basically. But you're also going to be able, so right here, just showing you again, when I'm in New Tom Homes, I'm going to go to selection boards, and then I'll be able to just convert the approved items into a proposal. Another way also, you are also going to be able to convert your time entries into an invoice. That's also something that designers do. So when you want to make sure you want to track all those design hours and then bill your clients for the design hours, you're going to be able to just do that. You can create a specific invoice just for the design hours, or you can just add that to an existing invoice. So that's possible also. You'll be able to do that from your time and expense.
Okay, a couple more questions. Can clients pay via ACH through Houzz, or is it only credit card? And if ACH, what does that look like for them?
Yes, they can definitely pay via ACH also. So I want to show you. Let me show you right here. I'm gonna have this payment. I'm gonna share it. And I want them to pay. They can pay via debit card, credit card, or they can pay by bank transfer.
Awesome. And it's run through Stripe, so it's a very reputable and reliable transactor, if that makes sense. And then we have questions about retainers and credits. How do those work inside Houzz Pro?
Okay, so we might want to do another webinar deep dive on this, but I can just show you also that whenever I'm on my project, if I go back to my project, the way you would do it, for example, is that, let's say at the beginning of the project, you decide that you're sending a retainer. So you can just create, that retainer right here. And then whenever you send an invoice, you can apply the retainer or a part of the retainer for a specific amount for on the proposal, on the payments, on the invoice. So if I go here, let's say I'm going to just quickly create a new retainer for like $10,000. Right. And I'm going to just say that it was paid. Okay. So then when I go back into my invoice, I'm going to go into an invoice. Okay, I'm into my invoice and I want to log a payment, and I'm going to be able to just apply that retainer for the amount. So I have 10,000 available, and I'm going to just be able to plug in right here, and I'm pulling it from the retainer. I hope that makes sense. And then when I go back into my retainers, going back to the project, and I'm going to look at my retainers. It's going to tell me that now I just have this amount available. So deducting the amount that I just used. And my available retainer is right here. Do we have more questions in the last 3 minutes?
The only other question is there a way to only allow people to pay ACH? They were a little concerned about using credit card.
Definitely. So we know that clients love using credit cards, but you're going to be able, when you set up your payments method, you're going to be able to just decide what are your preferred payment methods. So I'm going to just go also ahead and just show you. You can look, we have a full list of articles that really walk you through everything. So when you want to set up online payments, it's right here. I invite everyone to just watch the video, and then it's going to go into detail about like what this process looks like. And you can set up different online payments methods. So you can go here also. Am I going to edit the payment settings? Here, you can decide everything of what are your default payment settings. If you want just ACH, if you want credit card, and up to each amount. So everything is really, really detailed for you here. So feel free to just go ahead and use that resource. And please also, if you have any questions, feel free to send us a message so we can get you set up.
Absolutely. And also inside House Pro, if you use the search icon in the top left, that little search icon, if you typed in, say, for instance, online payments, if you were needing information about that, it will also pull from our help articles so that you can have quick access to it.
Yeah, amazing.
I think that's all the questions. Is there anything else we need to cover, Shoshana?
I'm sure there's tons, so many more things that we could talk about. I just wanted to remind everyone that you can also save a template. So save an invoice, save a proposal as a template. We talked about merging. We talked about the QuickBooks integration. I think something that's very important also to mention, and I was just discussing this with our accountants, is the importance of creating purchase orders. So you make sure to really track those and keep everything right in order. So just make sure to create purchase orders always, even when you buy from retail, and have everything recorded in your system, and to connect with QuickBooks so all the information is automatically pushed for you. And something else also that's very important is that we have all these reports available for you, and where you're going to be able to track and file sales tax much more easily. But that's also much more helpful when you make sure that things are right also with QuickBooks, and of course when you do the right thing of creating the proposal, converting it to an invoice, collecting the payments, creating a purchase order. So just there's so much. We have so many features, and we're here for you to answer any questions.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time with us.
Thank you so much.